Live streaming is on.
It's on. So welcome again, and let's start. Anybody want to give an update? Or not?
I mean, I've just been working on the Giveth docs, trying to get my head around Docusaurus and Infima and stuff like that. So that's pretty much what I've been doing this week, along with some testing we did earlier.
Yeah, same for me. Testing and then also working on the frequently asked questions thing and try to get some of that documentation in so we can get it added. That's about it for me.
From my side, I handled many issues that were in the Send Hub. The most important one in there was the profile view that I think it's ready for MVP. I think that's enough so far. Maybe we can discuss if we want to add some kind of social link of the user, and that's it. I think James have a great update for the authentication. He made a refactoring that I would like to see eventually from the service provider.
Yeah, yeah. I started trying to fix a couple of issues that we had around like spinning loading indicators and stuff like this, like when sessions time out and this kind of stuff. And in the end, I ended up doing like a lot of refactoring around authentication because I really had a hard time like fixing the problem basically. And I think like it began to be obvious that we needed to do that to me, but like spend some time just trying to like refactor the code a bit because it kind of like has grown over the last, I don't know, year or whatever. And yeah, it's a little bit hard to reason about basically. So I ended up going down a rabbit hole on this one, and I feel like it was important because in the short-term future, like we have the things like MetaMask that we want to use and things like this, right? So it's not just going to be about Taurus, and at some point, like, you know, trying to add MetaMask in the previous state would have been impossible anyway. So I just made the call to go ahead and do the refactor. It's still kind of not finished, I would say. It's really close to, I think even authentication is not working. I'm just having some final issues with the add project form, which is also very hard to reason about. So I had to dig into this also. But essentially, authentication is super nice now. There's no need to click anything to prove anything or whatever. Like as soon as you log in, like it creates a token and it creates a session with the server. And we have a nice interface that we can add other wallet providers into them. So I'm just in the process of finishing that off. I think that like, for me, like I wonder about the roadmap and what to do right now because as it stands, we're kind of scheduled to do like a secret live launch, like, well, to put it live tomorrow, right? And test it, which we can totally do. Like, I think Mateo's made like a lot of fixes, maybe even the last fixes. I haven't really checked GitHub right now, but I mean, the question I'm wondering is like, we can just go live with what we have right now and maybe it's super cool, right? Or is it better to postpone a week and get my refactor in and then test it and then go live? And I say that because like, I feel like the process of going live, it should be that like our code base gets more and more stable, right? Like we find issues, we fix them, we find issues, we fix them. And I feel like my refactor is potentially like, it could potentially make a whole load of issues that we don't know about yet, right? So I wonder if it might be better to just postpone like a week going live, get my issues in and test them again, but get my refactor in and like get it thoroughly tested before it goes live, basically. So yeah, I think there's two options there. We keep my changes out for now and go live with what we have, or we postpone a week and do another week of testing and then go live. I think like this going live idea is quite a loose concept anyway, right? Like it's not like we're about to launch and send out like thousands of emails to people or anything like this. So yeah, I think we have lots of options there. So that's what I'm thinking right now. Yeah, and that's it.
Cool. Thanks for the update, James. I was just looking at staging, and I just tried to create a project in the and I got stuck on the endless spinner on creating a project. So based on that, I would say we're probably not ready to go live tomorrow just yet. Obviously, like that core functionality's got to work. So, but it's great to hear that you've been already working on the refactor. I do think it's worth waiting one more week, and then we can really push to hopefully be ready, get this refactor in, test it, and hopefully be ready to launch, soft launch next week. I think that sounds good. I think we're so close. I think one more week we can make a lot of good progress and get the refactor in there, which we'll want to do eventually. So I like the idea of getting that done before we get projects on there. And to answer Danny's question, does putting live mean moving to Giveth? I think we'll start by doing the soft launch, and we'll stay on v2.giveth.io while we get these projects on there and make sure the projects are all onboarded and we have good profiles. Then when we do the big launch, kind of at that time is when we switch over to Giveth.io.
Sounds good.
Sorry, Willie, I wanted to ask, what was the problem that you're facing right now in staging? Is the loading happening where?
I just went through the project creation flow. I can test it again right now. But after creating the project, it had very basic inputs, and then it was just setting up a project. I let it sit there for at least a minute, and it was still spinning.
I think I know exactly what that is. Like, and that was the entry point for me into this, right? It's like that. First of all, like when things fail, that we're not failing gracefully. And actually, what that one is, for example, is that the token is no longer valid, like on the server, and there's actually a response coming from the so the request at the end of that goes to the server to actually create the project is failing with an access denied error. And that error is not handled gracefully, like in the DApp, basically. So yeah, I mean, like all of that kind of stuff is what I was working on, right? So like, I think like this is, yeah. Anyway,
that would make sense because you're saying my auth token was expired because I hadn't signed in. I had signed in a while ago, hadn't signed out and back in yet.
Yeah.
So that sounds like
yeah. It's just another argument to wait, right? Like it's kind of like it's like this not failing gracefully. It's kind of like it's not very resilient, right? Yeah, let's stick to that then. Like do another week. Yeah.
Yes, and we are in your refactor. We are considering some flow for refreshing the token or what?
So what happens is basically when the user logs in, it gets another token. Basically, like I had the option to refresh the token. To check if the token was valid, and if not, like get a new token. But I decided just to go with create a new token anyway, basically, because like I mean, normally you have like your refresh token and your access token, and the refresh token is like a long-lasting token that you use to go and get access tokens, right? But for us, I feel like you know, the wallet itself kind of acts as a refresh token, right? Like that kind of authenticates the user, and then our token that we use is like an access token, essentially. So we may want to make a change where we even reduce the how long a token is valid for, right? Like, and that way it will act more like an access token, like be short-lived or whatever. But I guess like we should see how the user experience is for that. Like I didn't really get to the end of thinking all that through, so we can see how we go with that, basically. Yeah. Yeah, that's all on that, I guess. I mean, I don't know. Should we go through the issues, Kai, or what do we do?
Guy's mic died.
Yeah.
Kai's frozen, is he?
No, his mic has problem.
Okay, so who's Who's got control of this room?
I think I have moderator rights. What would you like me to do?
Well, I mean, normally we go through the issues if there's nothing else to discuss, I guess.
Cool.
I mean, like before we do that, like one thing that occurs to me is like, I just wonder if we need the testers to test tomorrow, like Monday and Tuesday, like the Costa Rica team. Mateo, do you have an opinion on that?
I think that we can make some little change in the current version without making yours the main one yet, by only I don't know, maybe logging out automatically if the token is invalid already. That's one change that we can make really quick, and I think it wouldn't offer much of a problem for the users. It's better to do that than I don't know, just get stuck in a spinner or don't have access for any endpoint. So what do you think? Maybe does that sound enough? Maybe just for this version that we are currently having instead of yours.
I mean, like the main question for me is like, we want to use everybody's time as effectively as possible, and is it actually a good use of time to have a full test done early this week by the Costa Rica team when there's going to be such big changes coming in from the refactor next week? You know what I mean? So I guess, like, I mean, maybe we probably want to at least have like some high level testing, like to actually look at the new functionality or whatever. But just in terms of planning, like it may not be necessary to do like a full deep test, like a full deep test from the Costa Rica team.
Okay, understand.
Yeah. So I guess, I mean, it's up to you guys anyway. If you want to test, you can test, but like don't break your hearts on it, I would say, until the following week. Shall we go through the GitHub issues?
Sure. Do you want to share your screen, James, or would you like me to?
Yeah, you can go ahead.
Okay.
I don't know if I have.
Okay. All right. And do you want to set a filter here, or just look at the full board?
You can go for the final MVP milestone.
This next week will be final.
Exactly. Yeah. Final's very generic and non-committal.
All right. So we got tickets in the done column, or these tickets that were completed this past week, since last week.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Looks like a bug reported by Wyatt Wonder, accessing projects through my account page.
Yeah, for that one, I set up the hover so you can see both options. One is to go to edition of the, just like that in that design. Marco showed it in the comments. That's live currently.
Awesome. Very cool. That's in staging or V2.
Yeah, staging.
Staging, cool. Awesome.
I'm not sure if Kai moved everything that is in staging to V2 already. I saw a couple of PRs yesterday, but I'm not sure.
Let's check it out. I know one of the things you guys added was the responsiveness. Oh, and we can see, you could just check for this button right here, the give feedback button. Let's see if that's there yet.
Ah.
Hey, there's Kai. Okay, so it looks like we haven't deployed to V2, I think in a bit, even since we added that first create issue.
Yeah, it does not build. Unfortunately, we have, for some reason, even if the config is the same, I'm looking at the backend servers. We cannot get a connection to the mainnet server. So that's what I think lets the deploy fail on Netlify. If we look at Netlify, it fails. And yeah, that's one more thing we need to fix before we even can consider changing that address to Giveth.
Right before we can go live.
Yes, yes.
So it sounds
An
like you're already
important
aware of
one
that. Do we have an issue for that?
No, I mean, we do have an issue about, or James, did you make that issue about the backend quality, quality of life things, you know, and maintenance functions?
Are the automated backups?
Yeah, we had like a list.
I think I did make an issue about that actually. Oh, maybe I'm misunderstanding you.
I'm searching too. It might be an impact graph.
There's this issue GraphQL.
Ah, okay.
Oh no, it's different.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what we're talking about.
So right now there's a blocker for deploying Giveth. It sounds like an issue in the config that's preventing the Netlify build from building successfully.
Mm-hmm.
So do we have a? We're just wondering if we have an issue for
No,
that.
for sure, for that one we don't.
Okay.
But I can add one.
Okay, thank you, Kai. Cool.
And while we are on the topic, really quick, I wonder what to do about cores. Like if we should be really strict about in our backend with cores and set this up really nice. And the next question would be if somebody feels qualified to look at that, or knows somebody who is qualified to look at that, because cores can be a real strange thing. And I'm playing around with it, but you know, I'm not no expert, so didn't get it to work yet.
So cores, can you give us a high level explanation of what cores is?
Of course.
Of course.
Oh, that what a stupid joke. Control origin. What we controlled origin something something. Yes, course policy, and so that's one thing that even bugs us with Brave. I think I remember an issue. I think Mitch had with Brave where we said, "Oh yeah, that's the strong course." It's basically on the back end we would specify that only this one requests coming from this one address are allowed. That's it in a nutshell, like easy explain. So
things like cores, for instance, or like block native.
No.
If we're
No, it would be only our front end. So all requests that come from Giveth.io are welcome on the mainnet backend.
okay.
And nothing else. Yeah.
So everything's coming through the GraphQL server. So we just need to just whitelist Giveth, basically.
Yes, it's a So it would be cool somebody who really knows Nginx and cores. There are so many options. It would be nice to have it, configured nice. But Nginx is it's famous for being very complex, or with that stuff at least.
I would say that we could probably do this post-launch. I mean, I'm happy to look at it, but I think like this other stuff, I would rather look at first. We should definitely have an issue for it if we don't already.
I'm making the issue now. I just wanted to mention it because it is related. We are getting that error for the course now, and that is why it does not want, like Netlify does not want to build because it can't get any response from the server that's meaningful. I'll make an issue.
But how is it? How was it building before? I mean, I know this is for the new environment, right?
It is a very good question. There have been changes on the backend, on the deployment. I'm not sure what caused it. It looks superficially. There's one thing where it might be in the variables. I'm looking at the environment. There was one thing, at least too much. So I'll have to check the other ones, but I haven't found an error yet. Error yet.
Well, I'm happy to talk to you about this after the call. Like we can look at it together, and if there's some change we need to make, then we can make it now. Otherwise,
All
yeah.
Awesome. Thanks, James. And thanks, Kai. Sounds like there is somewhat of a blocker there that we need to get through before we can deploy. But if there's beyond that, we can potentially defer some of it to fast follow.
Yeah.
So, cool. All right, and Mateo, I see you got a meta tag added to the site. That's awesome. What did you end up going with for copy?
Yeah, I made a special comment. I think it's in another issue that is until we are not completely rendering the project through server, we won't get special meta tags when you get the preview. Like for example, go donate to a specific project, because by the time that the site is loading, is rendering through client the project, this meta tag preview is already being shown, so it won't happen until that part is fixed. So far we are going to get like a standard title and description and image for every specific site.
For every project, we'll have the same meta tag for now.
For now.
Okay. Good call, Griff, to ask if we could do custom stuff there. That's smart for when people are sharing their projects, links and stuff. They wanted to unfurl. But sounds like, yeah,
So
we've got
that
a
issue that Matteo just referenced is sitting in user testing. And so since it sounds like something that can't be fixed right now, I wasn't sure where to move the pipeline.
Yeah, we could put this back in the, I think the Icebox or backlog. Do we have back, I think Icebox for now.
There you go.
Cool.
Maybe it should be a follow-up, but I'm not sure if an instant follow-up, because there needs to be a more thorough investigation on that server-side render if we're going to remain in Gatsby or Next, etc. The same old discussion.
Okay, so we need a little bit, we need some more, is there a comment in here for that? Update, this requires more, what were you saying, Mateo, can you repeat that?
Server-side render investigation or decisions, mainly. That cannot happen for MVP.
We can put it in the fast follow and decide if we want to maybe move it out of fast follow, but we'll take it out of the final MVP milestone at least.
Right.
Cool. All right. And then last one that got completed this past week, formatting of project name. And so here's an example. Just making sure that we don't orphan the text. Yep, automatically break the line. Cool. Sounds like you knocked that out, Mateo.
Yeah, I fixed it.
Very cool. Awesome. All right. Then in staging, let's see who took on this deploy live ticket. James, can you give us an update on? Oh, is this just go live basically?
This is Epic, and I believe there's only one issue on this, and that's the separate deployment environment that's Kai and maybe Amin are working on.
Okay. So this was right now it's bundled together. If we deploy, it deploys both. Or are you saying we just need to deploy impact graph now? We can choose to go to staging.
I think this is still it's to have separate environments, like one a separate database and a GraphQL server for live and for staging. And I believe this is in progress and related to the cores problem that we discussed with Kai. So this is in progress.
Got it. Cool. Let's see. Cool. Should we move this to in progress? Or that's that
Yeah.
Cool. All right. And then oh nice. Profile verification or for project owners.
Mateo,
how's this going?
The verification, not quite, but there is already a public link for the users. you can check it out already. If you go to a new project, below the title, you can see the owner or the creator, and it will link you to their public profile. I wonder why it doesn't show in there. Who created this one?
This one I think was just created this morning. Lauren, did you create this? Or did anyone on the call create this?
Yeah, I just created a minute ago just to see if I would get the loading screen, and I didn't.
Nice.
Okay, that's weird because it should be showing your profile. But let me give you my Taurus wallet, because what I did was through the route, it would look it up through the address. So it would be like giveth.io/user/the whole address. So give me a second. Or you can try with yours. Check your wallet address in the menu there and go to user/that. Yeah.
Oh no. No,
Why that's not working? That's weird. Is it staying up to date?
Is it because I haven't created a project yet, potentially? Or is it, as soon as you log in, does it create a user for you?
Yeah, that's it. You have to be verified. Did you verify your wallet? Because if you're not being recognized in the.
There we go. Okay. Now let's try. Still no.
That's weird. I'm not sure why is that happening.
So maybe it's not up to date. But I only saw one PR open, which is just visual fixes. So do you guys, I'm curious about this. Is there is there a special button we need to press to deploy to staging, or when we merge to master, does it automatically push it to staging?
No, it does. It's just going through the PR directly.
If we merge into staging, it applies.
Okay. Merge into master it goes. So it should be out there.
Yeah, check that branch. If you go to details below, view details there, the last detail button, you can see the deploy of this version. Okay, but anyway, you would have to.
Testing this real quick.
Anyway, I'm trying to deploy it in my local, so you can see it if I share my screen.
Yeah. Let's just see, I guess, real quick if it's working here.
Oh, that's another thing that I forgot to mention, James. As we have whitelisted the staging and the local and the V2 domains, when we are deploying here, the verification of the wallet is not working. That's something that.
Okay.
Yes, I wanted to fix that like little thing, with the checkbox, but I could not reach the screen. So I tried to fix it in the PR. I just don't know if it worked.
Right. So just so I understand the problem, it's this preview URL is not added as a whitelist environmental variable, is it?
Yeah, because every deploy has its own identification. They change every time. I'm not sure if it's the number of the full request or what.
Yeah, maybe there's like a wildcard. Maybe we can use a wildcard exactly like that. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Let's create an issue for that then, and have a look at it.
Cool.
I can do that.
Thank you, James. And then, do we need to figure out why that isn't in staging yet, or is that you think the issue that you're creating might be related?
Yeah,
No,
let's figure it out later.
Okay. All right. Let's look at what's in progress. So yeah, I take it the profile that we were about to look at, is that the first step towards this feature, Mateo?
there is another issue that is a public profile view. This one is more related to how what we can add for every user. If we want to give them the option to set up a social network link or more information related to himself. But the other one is closer, I guess. It was created by Marco, and it's let me search for it. That one, the Pro 4. Yeah,
Cool.
That's the one that I wanted to show you. This the public profile user.
Okay, cool.
I
So
started like this.
go ahead.
And then Marco made it there.
Nice. Very cool. Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, that's working perfectly, but I'm not sure why the database is not retrieving the user. I mean, Ashley created a project, so she should be verified and actually in the database, and that's the same I'm using. So it's really weird.
And do we need an issue for that as well, just to figure out why staging isn't up to date?
Yeah, I can create that now.
Thank you, James. Cool. All right. Thanks, Mateo, for that update. And this create public profile page, were you saying this is in progress or?
Yeah, leave it in progress, because if it's not retrieving the user information, it cannot be done.
Okay. And so, and it sounds, I take it we are including this in the final MVP milestone if we're working on it. Yeah. Okay, cool. Awesome. All right. Looks like I got some other bugs in progress. Mateo, do you want to give an update on this one?
Yeah, I fixed that one. In the project creation flow, most of the tabs have this option for when you click enter, when you press enter, it goes to the next one. Except for I think the one that is map location, because if you press enter, there is not an input, and that functionality only works when there is an input for the keywords and stuff. So in that one, there is no input, so you cannot use enter to go to the next one, but every other step should work.
Cool. I take a project description as well. You can press enter on that step and it won't take you to the next step. It'll just do a page break or a line break. So is this one ready for user testing?
That's in a staging, yeah.
Cool. Awesome. All right. Also, this one, too hard to make issues. Is this updating to the new, nice, this new design? Very cool. This looks like we can put this in user testing as well.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
I also added the little exit button, because sometimes you want it to go away.
Yeah, I do like that exit button. That is nice. Cool. I also saw you guys got the hover states in there too. I don't know if there's an issue for that, but it's looking really good. So let's put this in user testing. Very cool. Okay. Looks like we had an issue with the project getting submitted and then disappearing. Thanks for reporting this, Tommy. Mateo, is this one fixed?
Yep.
Awesome. Very cool. What was the issue here?
Let me share my screen and I'll show you the user page. I just where is it? Here. Can you see it?
Yes. Very nice.
So yeah, that's my wallet address for Taurus. This is the one. This is the way that we are fetching the information. So if you click in here, you go to the Etherscan direction if you want. It will show the projects and donations. And yeah, I wanted to show you with some stuff, but with this account I have nothing. It's also kind of responsive. Well, it's not kind of, it is responsive. Yeah, that's it. And if I create, let's create a project real quickly. So you can see.
You could probably do this with your eyes closed at this point.
Yeah, I moved this, so that visual that you were checking on, if you go to a mobile version, it's working because it wasn't before. So it's the high five is more responsive now.
I moved it again. If that is not on your, but it's on your local, okay, so you might override.
Yeah.
By the way, I fixed the mainnet deployment, it seems.
Yay! Thank you, Kai.
But I was distracted for a second, and what do you mean staging is not deploying? Everything is deploying fine.
We noticed that what Mateo is showing us right now on his local, which should be in staging, is not in staging as far as we can tell.
It's supposed. I mean, this is the same that the PR I made on Friday. It should be the same in staging. So what I couldn't see is that if you created your project, you can see your name belonging here by Mateo Daza, for example, and if you click in there, you can see the site, the public project, the public profile. You can see the project in here as well. So that's it. And I wonder why it's not showing in staging, and that's really weird.
Well, can you see it in the code on GitHub?
I'll check on that.
Because it's like, this is very, very weird. Please make sure you didn't, I don't know, put it on another branch and stuff. Or, I mean, you have it locally, so I can help
No,
you.
but the code is in there, because if you try to go to user/something, it says user not found, and that's the code that I left. If it wasn't live, it would show 404 not found or something like that. So the problem is that the user is not being saved in the database, or something is going on with that query. I'll check on that.
If you need help with that, let me know.
Sure, thank you.
Awesome. Thanks for the demo, Mateo. Thanks for fixing the deploy issue, Kai. Let's dive back into the board. All right. Inconsistent wording. Mateo, any update on this ticket?
I changed the good for great.
Cool. Sweet. Awesome.
Was that it?
Very cool. And then FAQ. Danny, how's this issue going? Does anyone else have an update on this FAQ issue?
I am going to put a link in the chat for the HackMD document where we've been adding them all in one location. But eventually they'll have to be like gone through, and like some of them are geared towards Giveth 2, some of them are geared towards Giveth 1, some of them are geared towards governance stuff. So there's a lot of different FAQs in that one document.
Cool. So next step is you need just like some extra pairs of eyes to review it and organize it a little bit.
Yeah, and maybe add more. I'm not sure.
Okay, cool. See if we can knock this out this week. Maybe even today. Get at least the first draft of FAQs up on the site. All right, we got this MVP launch epic. This just has quite a few issues in it, so we'll skip that one for now. Are there any other info pages that need content, or is it just the FAQ at this point that's missing? I think it's just the FAQ at this point.
I would say just the FAQ. Yeah.
Cool. can always refine this copy, but at least we have some good enough copy in there for this soft launch. Awesome. Verify wallet link does nothing. This is one that is in the current fixed in the current refactor branch you're working on.
Yep.
Awesome.
You can assign that to me, or if it's not already, it is. Don't worry. Okay.
Awesome. I'm so stoked that you fixed that. All right. After submitting a project, stuck setting everything up. This is what I was seeing earlier today. So this is the cool.
Yeah, I'm working on that. Yeah.
Very cool. All right. That is all that we've got in progress. And then some remaining issues that are that we'll be working on this next week. Are these all? I'm assuming all these issues. Let me make sure they're filtered correctly. Okay. Let's make sure we've got all the issues that are required for this next week, or for the soft launch. Make sure that they're tagged correctly. What's this this GraphQL issue? Is a bug?
It's just in the analytics. I noticed that this, if you scroll up, there's one of the GraphQL mutations getting hit all the time, the project reactions. And I think Matteo was just going to double check that there's not like a logic bug in there. Just to make sure that that's correct, that it's hitting it 458 times, basically. Yeah. So it's not super urgent, but it would be probably a good idea to make sure there's no problem there. You can leave it assigned to me also.
Awesome. All right, and then this is some of the issues we just added. See if we can add wildcard domain for preview to whitelisted deploy. And then figure out why staging is not deploying right now. Awesome. Thank you guys for creating those issues. Let's see what else we've got in the backlog and see if anything else needs to be tagged. Final MVP. Okay. I'll go ahead and tag this launch preparation as final MVP. Cool. Terms of service. Go ahead.
We could talk quickly about the import Giveth one campaigns. Like, I created this ticket after it's briefly mentioned. I mean, Danny, I think, was like super hot on this idea. Like, that is something that we could still do, I guess. I don't know. It's a question of whether we want to do this like for a go live or something or not. Yeah, maybe we just leave it for now. It's in fast follow, right?
Yeah, I would say so. But it's really cool feature. We weren't even talking about only Giveth one, but maybe Gitcoin. You know, this is really like part of the what comes next, even after fast follow. It's not fast follow; it's the next stage.
I think it would be great to have this in place when we have MetaMask working as a wallet, right? Because these campaigns would be managed by MetaMask right now, right?
Yes.
So when people can log in with their MetaMask, they'll see all their campaigns and give this to. So later, I would say.
Cool.
Yeah, much.
Hey, so I was checking on the staging, and I just created a project, and my user does show up. I'm not sure why the one that Ashley created didn't show up. But maybe something related with the token and not being saved on the database, or I don't know, because I appear in here. If you see by yourself, Willie. Okay. I just noticed something.
Here we go.
Yeah, there's the other one.
Which one? You want to look at the other project? Oh, there's a little bug.
Yeah, I just got that. That was what I was gonna say. The fetching is weird. It's like sometimes the information is not there, so I will check on that.
Okay.
You don't need to make an issue because it's the same one.
Cool.
That's in progress. It's good.
Okay. In this issue, so it looks like staging is deploying. There just might be some bugs that we got to look into, but we no longer think that staging is not deploying. Yeah.
Yeah,
right?
this is all the bugs we open, we can close.
For both of these?
I meant the chorus one.
The chorus one? Cool. I don't know where that chorus issue went. I don't know if we put it into to do. Oh, here it is. Okay, close this issue. And then we'll close this one as well.
Going back to one of the issues in user testing, James is one adding image to project. I had a comment in there just to clarify because part of it was fixed, but the other part wasn't. So just at the bottom there, like the link part has a hand hover over it, which is perfect, but you're still getting the solid rectangular outline within the dotted rectangular outline. So I don't know what the intention was, or if you're gonna.
Yeah, I didn't. I must have missed that as a problem. I didn't. Yeah, I wasn't aware of it. So we can just put it back into the backlog, or me or someone else can pick it up.
Thanks for bringing that up, Mitch.
Yep.
Appreciate it. Cool. All right. On High Five project done page, weird square. This square right here. All right. Mateo, you know what needs to be done here? Or it looks like, sorry, Kai is assigned to this one.
Yeah, I think I fixed it, but Matteo also fixed it. So one of us will have moved the square in the end. Schrödinger's square.
This is now fixed in staging?
No, it's coming either with Matteo's next or my next.
Okay, sweet. Awesome.
All the squares are triangles now.
All right. Terms of service. This is a good one to talk about. Yeah, we don't have any terms of service. And let's see what the latest status of this is. Marco's given us a nice mock-up of where to put it in the footer. Kai, you want to give me an update on this? We're missing some fields in the terms of service.
There are 2 fields that are just left blank. And you should be able to see them easily if you can visit the terms of use down at the bottom.
It's like such small text. That's funny. I barely even saw it down there.
I can make it like 1 shade above white.
Is this what Marco had mocked up too? Was to same font and style as this? Okay, so he wants us to move it to look just like these. It does look like we're kind of trying to bury it right now. Okay, and he said one of the sections is missing.
If you scroll all the way down.
Scrolling through
Yeah, and Marco already told me to move it, so I will do that.
Cool.
And now it's hard-coded because whatever you got out there is, yeah. I copied the text and made it new. So if you do changes, maybe do them here and not on the site.
Contentful. Do it in.
I could edit to contentful. That's one option. See, there was this other field where it's about the currency here. All payments shall be in.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is very good for us. All payments shall be in whatever you like.
Fill in the blank. Yeah. Okay. So maybe you can assign this to me. Just look at the terms of service as well. I guess I'm on here as well. Okay. So this is in staging, and then we should just, before we go live, see if we can fill in those blanks. Cool. And I've heard, a lot of startups don't have any terms of service, so I think we're in a good place having at least this boilerplate language.
It even says so in the bottom. I left. This was created with Termly, we can think about that, like if we want to leave it or not.
Just delete that line.
Maybe not too professional, but nice to give credit to an awesome terms and conditions generator.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's nice to give him credit.
I would like to talk about 409 really quick.
Okay.
Because you must have seen this really ugly build warning. And the reason I'm mentioning it is for transparency. It's actually, have you seen it, Matteo or James? It's very visible in the build. It's basically what I write after. I did not make the fix because I don't want to mess with your page generation. But even if you go to the 404, we have we have /project, we have /project/ and we have /projects. I'm not sure if with or without another slash. And that's yeah.
Awesome. I guess Mateo's knows most about this, but I guess either of us can look at this. So
yeah, I just wanted to I didn't want to fix it silently.
Yeah, let's fix it. It's dirty. Let's love ourselves and clean up our shit, basically.
Of course, yeah. The reason was to call you out.
Nice.
Cool. Did we want to assign this one, or was it just first come first serve?
I would say first come first serve, unless Mateo's like super dying to do it.
Cool. All right. And it looks like these other issues are all tagged. Very cool. All right, we've only got 6 minutes left. We can either end early, or are there any other issues or topics anyone wants to discuss?
I have one question, like a feature request. How hard would it be to also say that people clicked away like a box, like the cookies, toast, that people only have to, isn't this like it's really cool if you just click it once and you're like your browser remembers and you don't see it every time. I don't know how you guys did that.
I think I related it with the session. If you log out of your session, it will show again, but if you click it once inside your session, that's it. It shouldn't show you again the cookies.
Nice. Can you extend that behavior also to the GitHub button then, I guess? Because I saw that it also went away, but if I change the route, it would be back.
Okay, got it.
I can make an issue.
Yeah, even the exit button for the GitHub issue was something that I added because it was supposed to be always there, and I didn't like that. So yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah,
so.
I know this, and I think it's very nice like this. I like it much better.
For sure.
If I can interject with something, so if you guys aren't going to be actively needing us to test stuff, I am still working on the Giveth docs, and I'm trying to add in some pages and stuff, and it looks like I'm almost there, but I'm not quite doing it right. So maybe sometime this week, if I could screen share and someone could tell me what I'm doing wrong, so that at least I can be a little bit more autonomous putting stuff in.
Yeah, I can help you.
And some input on the scope of the stuff we want to put in, like if we're porting all of the Giveth wiki into the Giveth documentation, or a little bit more clarification on that.
Should we have it separated? Like, I think we should have ideally one place, right? Can we have a top level where we have like Giveth 2 documentation and Giveth 1 documentation?
Yeah, so then like if I'm able to put in more pages and more guides and menus and all that stuff, then we can just start plugging it in, and it doesn't need necessarily one of you guys to deal with it.
We have it. We have Giveth 1. Like Giveth 1 team asked me to fork or clone like what I made for Giveth 2. So we have 2 identical docs platforms, which is not good, but they should be separated over time. One is docs.giveth.io and one is docs.beta.giveth.io, I think. And of course, I can, like last week, help you. We can make a video session anytime, Mitch.
Okay, good. That's great because I'm looking at the documentation and I'm got my own local thing. I'm trying to do this stuff, but I think I'm missing some tips.
Sure.
All right. We got 2 minutes left. Anyone got any burning topics they want to discuss with the group before community call? All right. Looks like we got one more week to focus on getting MVP ready for shipping. We got some good issues all tagged. So I'm feeling good. Hopefully this is the week, and hopefully next week we can start onboarding some projects onto V2, sharing it with the world. Great progress last week.
Exciting. Nice.
You guys know, are we using the same room for the community call?
Oh,
That's
right. Which
I'm
is
cool with
great
that.
because my mic fucked up. Are you? Or not?
I'm not sure. What's the plan?
That's
calendar
what we've
invite?
done. That's what we've done for the last 2 weeks. My understanding is it's easier that way for the recording. So let's keep doing it unless anybody
Yeah.
has an issue.
Nope, it's even in the calendar event. So
Okay, perfect. All right.
No worries, Griff.
Take a break.
See you guys in 60 seconds. I'm going to run to the bathroom real quick.
All right.
well, off topic, but Danny, Lauren, and all the Common Simulator people, have you done the most recent test? Are we ready for the community release?
No, I haven't done it yet.
Okay. Okay, cool. Well,
Yeah,
I think they just put it yesterday, so yeah.
Yeah, I can do it today. I can check things out today.
Very cool.
Yeah. I'm full schedule, full power today, tomorrow, and Tuesday. So I'm back.
Yeah.
That's exciting. Yeah, it's pretty good. There's definitely some tech stuff. I mean, I think oh, Danny, did you happen to go through the timing with them?
So what I see is Marco changed it so that you can click on the slide now. So it stays for a right amount of time for them, but if you click on them, it actually moves it now, which is epic. That was what I originally asked for. Can you just click it to keep going faster?
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I think it looks pretty good.
I think it goes. Lorelai was saying it was going too fast for her.
It might be that one slide that has more text on it that's still a little funky. So I'll go back and look at that one.
I don't think it's a blocker for the release, but anyway, off topic.
And we're back with the community call, and you guys got me today. Forrest has a conflict, so I'm so excited that we have like a team that can handle these things, and that I could go do something else last week, and now she can do something this week. And I have hacked on the agenda. I just put the link here in the chat, and let's take a look at it. I can share my screen. We can look at it. Let's do that. Whoop. To the top.
All right, anybody who's here that's not listed on this participant list, I think that would be Mitch. Mitch, I don't have you in here yet. That's why.
What? I'm here. I want to participate.
I know you're. I just mean on the Notion. In Notion, it looks like I don't see your name in there to add, but we'll get that taken care of. Let's go ahead and get started with our check-ins
Tommy's here
today.
too.
Oh, great. Thank you, Tommy. Who would like to start off with our check-ins today?
I can go first.
Awesome.
So just echoing some stuff from the dev call, Docusaurus testing, and sorry, I can hear Lauren's mic echoing me, and it's kind of distracting. Sorry, so Docusaurus testing, and right now I would like to know about the RGive onboarding, because I think I was a little bit overwhelmed with information jumping in. So if I could add that in there. Intentions, update, see what's going on with the community. Nice to have Danny back. Distractions, I had one and I don't have any anymore. So we're good. So I'll pass it off to Willie.
Thanks, Mitch. Hello, everybody. Great to see you guys. Updates for this past week. Did some work on the token stuff. Got a plan in place with Forest. We're going to be doing like a sprint cycle, 2-week sprint cycle with the Give token, and we're hoping to kick off our first sprint with Gabby this week. So thank you everybody who voted on the proposal to get the to approve the distribution and issuance model for Give token. That's a big step forward. I wish I had more time this past week. Ended up being a very busy week with prod issues and stuff at Shapeshift. So I was up late a lot of nights and didn't get much sleep, but was definitely thinking about the token a lot. Griff, I think I have come around, and I see what you're thinking with the staking, and I do think that that's a good solution for MVP, staking for projects to help solve some of the challenges that creating a token that people can get by donating introduces. So started a doc in Notion, just so we're just going to keep a lot of the token stuff outlined and up to date in that doc. And yeah, we'll be working on that and hopefully getting started with Gabby on that this week, and we'll figure out if we're ready to start building or what the blockers are. But yeah, want to start making some progress on that soon, because clock is ticking, as we all know. Distractions, no distractions, feeling very focused, excited to sync up with everybody today, and get ready for hopefully soft launch of the Giveth app, V2 app this next week. Should be a fun week. Great progress, everybody, on the development side this past week. And I'll pass it to James.
Yeah, it's been a good week, productivity-wise, going deep into some refactoring on the DApp, just like making the code a bit more resilient and future-proof. Yeah, I also did some work on the narrative, which was inspired by Griff's video and Google Doc. It's in Notion, and it's kind of like, I guess, like a sort of proposal on like a problem that we're solving in the current philanthropy space, I would say. And I think it connects quite well with what Griff has been thinking and what we've been talking about. So yeah, I'd invite anyone and everyone to have a look and contribute their thoughts, I guess. Otherwise, my intentions are to catch up with you all and see where we're at and see where we're going. And I'm not distracted at all. And I would pass it to Ashley.
Updates. I've been trying to document a lot of my own onboarding process throughout all of this so that I can help to create more onboarding documentation for other people with the facts and everything, and just try and just understanding that because I'm kind of new in this whole world, like my perspective could be valuable as I learn things to like document that. intentions for the call, just coming back and checking in with all of you and seeing what's up for this week and where I can best apply myself. And I don't really have any distractions at the moment. And I'll pass it to Tommy.
Hello. Updates. I've been working on a couple of memes. The video from Griff and the outline that he was kind of going over helped a little bit to get the narrative straight. So I'm interested in what James is working on. My intentions for this call are to learn some about the tokens and just keep in touch with what's going on. No distractions. I will pass it to Lauren.
Hi. Updates. Yeah. Last week I just was helping a little bit with hacking through some of the FAQ document. And then the last couple of days I've been like away from my computer, which has been great. I don't know, saw family a little bit and drove around, and so it was like, woo. And today I went to check out the waterfall in the morning, so it's really nice. So updates is like I took some time for myself too. And yeah, and distractions, I'm not too distracted. Yeah, I'm happy to be here and sync up with everybody, see what's going on and like what needs to get done this week and what I can help with. Yeah, and I'll pass it to Amin.
Yeah, hello. You catch a bad moment to pass to me. Hi, I'm distracted by my son. And yeah, I'm happy to be here. This week, I am still teaching the new devs and this one. Yeah, new, great, but I did the most. I spent a lot of time in reviewing and teaching new devs. I spent lots of time on debugging the application, fixing the bug and Giveth one bridge monitor, but payment wasn't done. You have mentioned it. And yeah, and we have fixed lots of issues in Giveth when I don't like my heart more. I will pass it to Matthew.
Hey everyone, I wish you a happy Sunday. Not distracted, and just as James, I'm coming from a really productive week for development in the DApp. Getting ready for this week to be even more productive towards the release, the soft kind of live release of the application. And my intention is to sync up with everyone and yeah, see you here. I'll set to, I'm not sure, Grip, have you come?
I haven't. As far as updates for the week, not much other than talking with Edu from DappNode about the vesting contract and how that's possible. He said that he wants to help Giveth. You know, Edu from DappNode, the first thing that he did in crypto was work on Giveth and made the Wall of Fame. This is a long time ago. So he's super excited to help us with the token as well. And I think we'll have a lot of support from DappNode, and we can follow their wave a little bit. Other than that, not a lot of updates, just the classic Giveth one work that I mostly focus on. But I'm very distracted by the progress you guys are making on Giveth 2. It's looking really cool, guys. Like, I can't believe that. I mean, we almost launched today, right? And now we're just delaying a week. I mean, that's amazing. This is fantastic news. So I'm super stoked about the progress that's being made and how quickly. And also, like Danny said about the team in Costa Rica, it's so cool to have you guys have our back. This is something that Giveth's been missing for a long time. So it's I feel like we have all the pieces, and now we just got to get to work. As far as distractions, the other distraction is Amin's kid is super cute, so that's kind of cool. Danny, did you go?
I did not. Am I the last one? Sounds like it. Well, I'll go. My progress is I built an awesome bamboo structure last week and built a team that knows how to build it. That's going to come build the next one. But I didn't really do much on Giveth other than answer any requests, questions from the Costa Rica crew, which I think I was able to help where I could to be useful and keep everything going, which was amazing. It was like being in multiple places at once. So my intentions are to run an epic phone call and get everybody up to date knowing what we're going to do this week and do some amazing marketing strategizing for our launch. And I am only distracted by the epic nature on the other side of this computer screen. And let's see. Do we not have a Kai? I didn't hear a Kai go.
Yeah, no, I didn't go. Hey, good Sunday. I'm not distracted now. I might be distracted by family later. My intention is to follow the updates of you guys and see what we have in the agenda. Progress this week. I had a little sit-in with the Costa Rica team about the docs and Contentful and the wiki. We can make another one tomorrow if you want. I think there are many more points to discuss even. I did some fixes on our deployments and on the code base for Giveth, not the code base, some visual fixes. And what else? I joined another sprint by the token engineering community and looked how they do their dev calls, and actually it was pretty nice to see that in the time it took me to actually join the call, we ramped up. So I learned a little bit, but we are pretty good, I think, right now with our dev calls. We could improve a bit with the labels I saw. You can do a lot of nice filtering, and you can also make the lanes broader than one. I didn't know that. I think I might have forgotten something, but never mind. Am I the last one? Then I give it back to Dani.
Thank you. Yep, that's everybody. So where are we going next to our agenda? Let's talk about the reputation DAO and the R-Give. I know a few of you are interested in knowing the pathway. That's towards the end of this item, but let's start with our current proposals. Kai, your wallet change proposal, the one to add your new wallet, that passed successfully.
It worked. I already voted.
And it's working, and you voted. Yay. Cool. We don't have a Marco on the call right now, so I'll let that one slide till I check with him, because we want to get a proposal in to switch his wallet too. Other update is the December payouts proposal, number 5. Wait, that number isn't right somewhere. It passed, so you should have PAN in your wallets. Hooray. And then we have our current live proposal number 7. So the first one that Willie put up earlier in the week didn't get the participation we needed to pass. So a little note to ourselves that we have a short time frame on that and should probably ping people directly while we get used to doing this. But in the meantime, we did it again. So if you have not yet voted, when I looked at this morning, we had 33%, needed another 20%. So a couple more of you can hit this link right here for proposal number 7, where it says cast your vote. And let's get that through so we can keep moving. There is a DAO channel on the Discord that is for the Give token holders, but it's also open to any active community members who are regularly contributing. When we launched it, we talked about keeping it static, who the token holders are for the first couple of months while we get a few votes through. And then we can submit a proposal for how new members can receive tokens on the next issuance. So do engage in there. If that's something you're interested in, you can give us feedback, ask us questions. Anybody have any other items, questions, or thoughts around the Reputation DAO? You're all voting right now, aren't you?
Looks like we're up to 50% support now, which is good. That means we're enough. Unless anyone votes no, we are good to go. We needed 20% approval total, which we now have.
Excellent. Okay, I'm gonna give a quick fundraising update. A question came into me around the payment routing for tax deductions. So there is a little thread conversation. I was talking with Snappy Snap about this, I think in governance, perhaps. New. All right, I don't remember where exactly it is. I will find it. But basically what we're looking at is understanding how can we provide tax deductions for donations that come into the Giveth DApp and then get dispersed directly to recipients. There is a way that it can be done from the SDG impact side of the house. The question is whether we can do it on the Giveth side. What it means is giving SDG impact purview over the wallets that we use or the contracts. And I don't have any idea how we can do that. It feels like something we could do. I don't think multi-sig is the answer because we don't want to have to sign things. But this is the current question that we have is how do we make tax deductions more accessible to the donors? And so I have a call with Brian to talk this through a little bit more because the donation has to come from the donor to SDG impact held, and it can be jointly held wallet or account in some way in order for the donor to get the tax deduction. So there's a possibility that we could do this once it leaves Giveth, if it goes into a wallet that goes to the DAF in the donor's name and then gets dispersed from there. But that feels complicated too. So I think we just need to have a little jam session and talk through this a little bit more. Because as I look at our marketing campaign and the memes and things, I want to be able to have very clear documentation for all donors, what they need to do in order to get that tax deduction and figure out how we make it as invisible and seamless to them as possible. I see you scratching your beard, Griff, so if you have a thought on it, let me know.
I do. Well, I missed it in the Giveth 2 update call, but was there I was just thinking on the fiat side, it's very easy, right? Like if we have a fiat solution and it's like you get tax deductions on fiat donations, that's pretty simple. And then, or not simple, but that seems like pretty easily doable without a lot of smart contracts or anything. But eventually in the roadmap, I assume we will have a smart contract system on XDAI. And then when it's in that smart contract system, it's very easy to say, well, this is part of the Give ecosystem, right? It's in our smart contracts. And then earning interest of all things, hopefully. So I think that's the path. I mean, the other way is like, at least with the Giveth 1 platform, we have the bridge, and the Giveth multi-sig has control of the bridge. So I would think it's pretty easy for donations on Giveth 1, or that go through Giveth 1, to be able to say these are part of the Giveth DAF.
So that's the piece that is tricky, Griff, because just because it's in Giveth, it's not quite enough for the tax deduction. SDG Impact has to have some oversight, like they might need to be a multi-sig. They might need to be on that contract or something. This is what Brian was explaining to me, but we're going to have a full chat about it this week.
I mean, if we added them to the multi-sig, I mean, that's one transaction, and then boom, they're part of the Giveth multi-sig, and they're part owner of the Giveth bridge. At least for Giveth 1, that seems like a very quick, easy fix or potential solution.
Yeah, that's what I thought, is that on Giveth 1 side, it's pretty easy. I just don't quite see how to do it yet on Giveth 2 for the crypto donations, unless we use an SDG owned wallet as the one that it goes through when it comes in.
I mean, maybe it depends on how they deal with crypto, right? Because like, from what I understand about their fiat bank accounts, it's like one bank account that everything goes into, and there's kind of different labels on it, right? And if if they can deal with it in the same way with crypto, in that like all that we need to do is send the payment to a wallet that they control, then it should be pretty easy, you know? But it kind of depends on them and how they deal with this, with how they deal with crypto, if it works in the same way or otherwise.
There's also a lot of times people will start a company, and in fact we did this with the White Hat Group a long time ago, where we just say these addresses are owned by the White Hat Group, and we just literally just list them out and create basically a registry of addresses that are under purview of the White Hat Group, but owned by this person or controlled by that person, you know. And it's like the White Hat Group's just an imaginary organization, like some imaginary boundary that we drew around real people that control the keys. So it'd be really interesting if people could opt in to the SDG Impact thing, and then, but they have to get their 5%. They have to get their 5%. So never mind, I take it back.
Yeah. Yeah, that 5% is the other thing that we're going to have a chat about. I want to, because there are some bank transaction fees that I see showing up on some of my other DAFs. So I want to get really clear on what those costs are and make sure that they're in that 5%.
Yeah, the 5% is interesting, and I know we're talking about also using the Give token to kind of get an alternative to these tax deductions, right? So I wonder how that would conflict. I think with fiat, it's a little bit simpler, and it would make sense for a project that wants to, you know, be able to accept tax deductible donations in fiat to kind of apply, opt into that, and then get approved, and then, you know, donations in fiat go to the SDG account and then get dispersed to them, and they take the 5% and it's all tax deductible. For crypto, perhaps maybe we don't need to figure it out for crypto, and instead we just offer the alternative. And if you want your donations in crypto to be tax deductible, they're not really tax deductible, but instead the crypto donors are getting Give tokens, and that might even be preferable to a lot of people who would be donating crypto. They might prefer to just get tokens and not have to do the tax deduction. What are y'all's thoughts on that?
I think that was what we had already established, that that's going to be the option. Either they can have the tax deduction or they can have the token.
But I think what Willie's saying is, what if we just take it out of scope for crypto donations for now? Just like if someone's donating crypto, there's no tax deduction unless we at least that's not in the scope for the next couple of months of trying to solve that.
Right. So it's not even in fast follow, perhaps.
Yeah. Which I think that follows with the memes that we're trying to create, like, and also it's like a nice thing. It's like, okay, yeah, if you want regular tax deductions, you're a regular nonprofit, you can use Giveth too. You know, it's not just for the crypto natives. You can do tax deductions the normal way, but maybe while you're here, you might want to try out this crypto thing. It's kind of cool.
Right.
I think it aligns well with the narrative that James is working on too, and some of the issues that get created by the whole tax deduction system, and how that causes some issues in the nonprofit giving economy.
I think this is further down in the agenda, but do we actually have fiat integration for the MVP?
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. So I don't know if you guys have heard this yet, but James had mentioned last week that he kind of just in his free time built a basic on-ramp integration. James, do you want to give a quick update?
Yeah, basically, I noticed that HoneySwap like integrated ramp.network, and like I had seen them before and proposed them to us like more than once. So I thought I'd just try it out and see how easy it is to do it. And like in 5 minutes, I had a widget that essentially looks to easily onboard somebody. Since then, I realized that actually ramp.network is integrated already into Taurus. Along with MoonPay and all the others. And then I remembered, I think the reason why we didn't go down this road before is because we didn't have, help me with this word, L1CI3PO thing that we have now, or that we had no legal entity, I believe. So we couldn't engage with these on-rampers, which we now do. So I think we can on-ramp like super easy now. Yeah, like within hours. We could change the code and provide this functionality in a few hours, I would say. So it's a slightly different idea than having like fiat to fiat, like with Stripe or Braintree. And fiat to fiat is cool because of the tax benefits thing and all this kind of business. But yeah, I mean, fiat on-ramping is super cool, no? Like,
it's super cool. And I think we don't necessarily need to hold back the soft launch for it, because soft launch, we're not trying to get donors yet. We're just trying to get the projects on board, and they won't need to connect a bank account or anything. So I think this will be the fact that it's this easy to add. I think we should absolutely push to have this integrated before we do the big launch, so we can say, come donate with fiat. That'll be so awesome. And I was thinking about it, James. I think this is super cool because even with the fiat to fiat, with like Stripe or Braintree, projects still need to create a bank account or connect a bank account. And obviously, a lot of the projects that are going to be raising on Giveth, especially in the early days, won't have a bank account, just like us, or like we used to not have. So what I was thinking that we could have, basically, like without any effort on the project's part, if you don't connect a bank account, you basically get the on-ramp functionality. So a donor could come donate to your donation address using the on-ramp without any extra work on the project's behalf. Or if you want to connect a bank account, then that would be the default fiat flow. So if a user wants to come donate with fiat and you do have your bank account connected, they donate with debit or credit card or any of the different payment methods supported. It's super low fees, and then the project receives them in their bank account. They don't have to off-ramp or anything. If you don't have a bank account, then you can still accept donations via fiat, but the project actually receives it in crypto. And of course, there's a little more fees there, and the user has to KYC, but still better than it's better than only having crypto donations.
It's kind of three ways, right? Like, and they all have their own benefits. I mean, we actually ideally want all of those. I mean, with crypto on-ramping, then like we get like the transparency and the ability to trace like give tokens and all this kind of business, which we don't get with fiat to fiat. And yeah, I mean, it's all good, I would say.
And just out of curiosity, does it include an off-ramp as well, or just on-ramp?
I don't know about that. Is the answer I would give. I believe there's an off-ramp, but this is relying on my sketchy memory.
It's okay. It was a side comment. We can keep going.
Yep.
Cool. All right, I put that in down below and am returning to where we left off in the agenda.
Cool. Thank you, James, for just taking the initiative to try that out and getting it integrated. That's huge.
Sweet. All right. Let's see. There's more I want to talk about with SDG, but it's in a different part of the agenda. Let me just take a look real quick since we're still talking about it. Oh yeah. So I already talked about this first section where I'm meeting with Brian to figure out the process timing and fees, because I'm seeing things different across the different sub-DAFs that I work with. But the other thing that's really exciting to announce with SDG Impact is our Giveth Foundation is now live as a project. So we are accepting fiat. If you go to sdgimpactfund.org, and I think you can even just scroll down, but if you go to projects, there is the Giveth Foundation. You can go directly there. Here is our beautiful page and free open source decentralized application. It looks really good, I think. If anybody sees anything in here that needs to be edited or changed, please let me know. I'm seeing that the way this picture cuts off is a little weird. But the button, donate now, when you click it, it brings up something that I feel like is less than awesome. It's a bit slow to load. You got some waiting, which I understand. It brings up a page for information to make a donation. This is what prompted me to want to talk to Brian more about convenience fees and other things. So basically, if you put in an amount here, you say you're going to donate $111, and I hit yes, it's going to give me a $40 fee for that. So either the donor is saying they will add this to their amount. I'm not quite sure what happens with the no, so that's why I scheduled a meeting. There is not a crypto way, so this is what we have right now if somebody wants to make a donation. And I don't know, personally, I think it could be better. I think they need some design support. But it works, and we can accept fiat right now, which is really cool.
Yay,
right?
We can accept it and turn it into crypto.
Yeah, and just so you guys know, I'm actually about to test that. I am going to make a donation into our Diamante Bridge DAC, which is listed on Giveth One, and then have him convert that and distribute it to some campaigns in there, so we can see how that works.
Nice.
Awesome.
Let's go on to the give economy. We're at 11:35. We're moving pretty well through the agenda. Godoy, I gotta come check. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. And I can't look at it right now because I'm running a full go. Gracias. I'm receiving paint for my new house.
Cool. I got a couple updates. I think Griff might have some updates to share as well. Our updates are pretty quick. Forrest and I, like mentioned, are going to be leading a sprint cycle and working with Gabby and potentially some more folks who want to be part of the official Give token team. But right now, that's like at least our main focus is making sure that we're making as much progress as we can on the Give token. Thank you, James, for putting together that narrative. Thank you, Griff, for putting together the meme narrative and the implementation details. Those are super helpful. And thank you everyone who voted on the ratifying the Give token allocation and issuance model. One fact that I was looking, I think we have like 77% of the Give token is allocated to the community, which is really awesome. I have not seen a project that has that high of a community allocation. I think it aligns well with our exit to the community meme and just our values as an org. So next steps, we're going to meet with Gabby this week. We're still scheduling that. It looks like the sprint cycle will be Tuesdays and Sundays are going to be kind of the main meetings for the Give token sprint. And yeah, we're going to meet this week and figure out if we're ready to start working on that, actually doing some development based on that issuance and allocation model. And yeah, I think, Griff, did you already, I saw that you had this doc in Notion with the Giveth token implementation. And I think that has some thought put into how, like, what the first steps are for actually like developing the token contract and the vesting contract and what that will look like. Is that accurate?
I don't know the document that you're talking about, but I definitely have ideas on where to start.
Someone made a document in Notion. I assumed it was you for Give token or for development.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry. I believe that was me. And it may be confusing, so it might be best to disregard it. Yeah. So
I'm looking at it right now. In Notion, there's a narrative doc, and I think this is the issuance document.
Yeah, let's quickly click on that one real quick, Danny. We don't have to spend too much time on it, but it'll be good to get clarity. So yeah, I assume Griff put this together, but James, you created this one?
Yeah, so basically, like, I watched the recording of the call I missed, and I made some notes for myself and questions that I had, and then I fired a couple of questions over to Gabby and Luke, and I was just clarifying it in my mind and like documenting it there. Yeah, and like since then I kind of realized like I want probably more hands off on this topic as such. I think actually what Gabby started pushing for a meeting or something ahead of the governance. This was the same day as the governance call last week. So I invited him to the governance call. And then when I spoke to him again, he had said that he was not talking to Griff. And at that point, I just dropped it and said, okay, cool, this is happening. For me, like my intention for that was just simply to, I was wondering, like, could we get Gabby moving? And if so, what would need to happen ahead of that? But I'm a bit cognizant of getting in the way on that, and so sorry if that's confusing. But this is kind of like just a document where I thought it's useful to kind of like to write down like how this is going to work as such, and this is mostly my understanding of that. So best of intentions, hoping not to get in the way or distracted, and happy to leave it in your capable hands.
I think this is great, though. It has lots of nice links. Thank you for this research. I think it will be useful. So.
Cool.
And it's really nice to give people something to read instead of just having to have the video if you want to see what's happening. But long story short, Gabby said that he's basically busy for the next 10 days, focusing on some other things, but he's ready to start early Feb and go all in. And I would say that in that meantime, Willie, maybe you, Forrest, and I should just really have like a couple of hack sessions where we kind of put together an issuance roadmap based off of the what we have, and try to prioritize and these issues that are pretty much, I feel like most of it's already in the planning board. We just have to start separating it out, and yeah, I would love to have a hack sesh with you on that.
Awesome, that sounds great. Yeah, and James, thanks for putting together that doc. I think we were thinking a lot of the same stuff. I think we wanted to meet with Gabby this week just because we wanted to get the ball rolling. Like we also didn't want to be the roadblock, and we wanted to at least meet and see, are we ready to start building this, or are there any questions remaining that we need to answer, which seems like very similar intentions to your doc. And so awesome. It's great to hear that we've got kind of 10 days, and yeah, Griff, looking forward to hacking on it this next week, and hopefully, eliminating some of those blockers so Gabby can hit the ground running early bed.
Well, let's just talk on Telegram and schedule a time.
Perfect. Getting excited about it. I was also this past week, and I'll share it with you soon, Griff, but I started working on like just what the announcement doc could look like. And I think that can be a helpful exercise, just kind of similar to the Uniswap when they announced the Uni token, just a similar doc that has the narrative in there, and it has like some of the details about the allocation stuff. Just starting to fill that out. That was one thing I worked on this past week, so excited to share that soon.
Nice. All right, we have this list of the priority unblocked issues in here. Is there anyone who wants to give an update on PraiseBot?
There is none, Danny.
No.
Who is? Yeah, it's not assigned even to anybody. Did you talk to Frederick at some point, or should we try to find somebody working?
No.
I would say I have a quick update. So Common Stack is moving the PraiseBot to Discord. We'll keep the Telegram PraiseBot, but I think it fits better to just jump on that train with the Common Stack, since we're mostly in Discord anyway. Would you guys agree with that?
Yes, perfect.
Okay, cool. And if you'd like, so now it's, we will have that working. The goal is this sprint. Like, it's been the goal for like the last 4 sprints, but this sprint, I believe it's going to happen. So it's basically done. We just have to do some user testing.
Very nice. Who should I follow up with? Who is?
Chris.
Chris Jones? All right.
Chris Jones.
Perfect. Okay, I have seen some work on the compiling lists of past patrons. I saw the revolution.eth one has been updated. Any other updates on getting the printout of all of our past givers on Giveth one?
I mentioned this to Amin. Amin, do you have any updates on this? Did you? I feel like you even did it already.
Yeah, it's a simple query to database. I don't know how you should use that. Just want it at the moment. And now you need some continuous. Whenever a new a new user do some donation, you need to some action. You should just clear it out. What's expectation? But whenever, if you want to know it, I can create a script for you. You can run it easily.
Okay, I think this is the GitHub issue, right? Let's see. Yeah, so that's planning issue number 55, and it is not assigned to anyone.
And I made a. It's a pick. So it's broken into smaller issues, and issue 58 is the one that Amin is.
Okay.
And we also have the capability to say how much he has donated in the USD value. At the moment, he has donated. If he has donated 1 Ether 1 years ago, it's $200. But if he done it today, it's 1,200. And if you want to decide based on those values, it's possible.
That would be super cool to have that included.
Yeah.
Can you restate what's being included so I can put it into this issue?
The USD value at the time of donation.
Yeah, it means how much he has spent really in money in USD. What was the what's the worth of their donation? If he had donated 1 Ethereum 1 year ago, it's $200 maybe. But if he done it today, it's 1,200.
Right. Yeah, that's a pretty important piece. Thank you. Okay, I was not able to meet with Kim this past week. Sorry. Moving on. Okay, we have 15 minutes left. Is there any other questions or thoughts that we need to get in around the token economics? I think it's pretty clear what our next steps are.
Whoa, I think I'm muted.
No, you're not. Is this Tommy?
Okay, good. No, it's Mitch. I just noticed going to what Amin was saying in the CSV file that I imported into the Give tokens. I think you do have the timestamp and the prices of ETH already there. There's the Give tokens Excel sheet, and then I added in another one that says revolution.eth past donors. And so you do have the timestamps there, and you have the price of the ETH pegged to the transaction.
You mean that you are talking about the CSV of the campaign?
No, he did. This is for the multisig. So revolution.eth is the Giveth multisig, and so he also has the historical ETH price, which is very useful. But Mitch, what Amin is going to do would be very difficult to do without the database that he has access to in Giveth one. He's going to
sorry, I got mixed up with something else then.
Yeah, it's okay.
Cool.
Speaking of revolution.eth, I heard, Griff, that you got give.eth ENS domain. That's awesome.
Yeah, so we have give.giv.eth. We have give.give.eth now. I just splurged on it, taking the crypto winnings and and splurging on ENS names. And then we also have Giveth.eth. And I actually have like a huge list. We have campaign.eth. We have milestone.eth. We have like, I don't know, I have an obscene number of relatively useful ENS domains. So if we want to integrate ENS into our stuff, like, it'd be pretty easy.
Can we make, what do you guys think about making give.eth, like the replacing, or just, mapping that to our multi-sig and using that as like the official donate to Giveth, syncrypted to give.eth?
GIV?
Which one?
I like the GIV.eth. I think that's my favorite, I think.
Me too.
And what you're suggesting is to redirect revolution.eth to give.eth?
To resolve give.eth to the Giveth multisig. So revolution.eth could still point towards it, but give.eth would also point towards it. And basically on the website, like on the Giveth donation page, using the give.eth as the official donation address.
Yeah, and well, I guess the question is, do we want to use that old multi-sig, or do we want to change our official donation address to the rep DAO or something?
Oh yeah. Well, so the rep DAO is on, can we get donations on mainnet with our new rep DAO?
I forgot that's on, I totally forgot that's on next day.
That's the tricky part. If we could, then I'd say yes. But for now, I'm fine leaving it as a multi-sig for now.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I can do that during this call.
Sweet. Awesome.
Great. Okay, so 2 sections to go today. Let's see, are there any big updates, issues, or requests for Giveth 1, Amin? The main thing I have from last week is that we're going to be reaching out to the Giveth 1 project owners and asking them if they'd like to create their project on Giveth 2.
So I can say if you need the information, I can send you about the updates. Other updates, we have fixed some issues related to people have problems in the refreshing of the milestone. We have problems on the doing transactions. We get unexpected error pop-ups. We fix issues about fetching rates. There was timeout. We redesigned that part, and and we fixed the issues for the preview. And also we fixed an issue in the bridge monitor that one payment didn't go through because bridge security guard couldn't do the payment because of some problem on another project that I didn't modify yet. I didn't know about the code. It took about 1 day from me. Yeah, those are updates from Bridgemine.
Thank you, Amin. All right, there's a link in here to the staging site content edits. That's a document that Forrest and I have been working on to get the content edits. And I think Ashley and Lauren might also be contributing to that, mainly just to get all of the different text consistent on the content. So we're using this Google Doc because we couldn't add other people to Contentful. So doing it in the doc, and then I have access to Contentful, and that's what I'll work on here today and tomorrow. Let's see. So I think I'm going to skip this here because we have. Huh?
One of the things I noticed with that staging document is once we go live, those links, the hyperlinks, they're no longer going to be correct. So we need to, in that document, we'll have to put all of our hyperlinks to whatever it will be once we go live. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I totally understand what you're saying. So right now, they're pointing
towards staging when we'll want it to just be just Giveth.io, right?
Well, actually, if we're going to do a soft launch and test everything, they would need to go to V2 first. I wonder if that's a
No. So everything
No?
in staging it's all the same, but just use Giveth.io. Just get a link from staging or from V2 and delete the subdomain. Then you will have the. I think we should do all the documentation for Giveth.io deployment.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay. Kai, do you have any other updates from the DevOps side before we go get our Giveth 2.0 MVP launch status?
Sure. We have a new DAO role in the Discord, and I can set up the metagame bridge. I think we agreed already on that.
Yes,
And
I would love to see that.
And the other one is I prepared the deployment for Giveth, so we can, I think, switch anytime.
Okay, and just to be clear though, for the soft launch, well, we can look at this below, but the soft launch, we're going to V2 first, right? It's not until public release that we replace Giveth.io.
There is nothing happening. Like we are on V2 already. It's just how recent the changes were merged, and I merged them yesterday. And after the next big commits, I will merge them again, and it will keep it in general more up to date to staging. So V2 is there, and in my mind, I always understood the soft launch is going to Giveth.io with the DApp. But I'm not married to the plan, whatever works best for you guys. I think if we want to have persistent campaigns that are started with the soft launch, we should already be on Giveth.io. And also there is not much point in leaving the old website there and doing everything in the shadow, so to say.
Okay, so maybe we should talk about that. I'm open to soft launching on Giveth.io. I was kind of imagining that we would soft launch on V2, and then when we do the official launch, that's when we would update everything. I guess the main rationale behind that was just to, give projects some time to set up their profiles and stuff, so that when we do the official launch, there's already a nice set of projects there, and also that we make sure that there's not, bugs. Part of the soft launch is to uncover any bugs that we miss in testing, and also get feedback. Maybe there's some UX stuff that we overlooked because we're so familiar with the app that if we see some common struggles reported by these projects, that will give us some great insight on what we need to improve. But I hear your points for also just soft launching on Giveth.io. I'm open to it. Does anyone on the call have any strong feelings about soft launching on v2.giveth.io versus Giveth.io?
I think as long as we don't tweet it, it doesn't really matter.
Okay. I feel like I have some resistance, but I can probably be pushed past it.
Yeah, I mean, I think Kai makes a really good point that like making people change their links halfway through and stuff like that, or if there's technical hurdles, I definitely have resistance to it too. But if there's technical hurdles, and it'll speed things up by just going to Giveth.io. I mean, how many hits do we have a day? If it's less than 10, then and I'm sure I'd be surprised if it's even 2. So I think it's probably okay.
Yeah, I agree. Hearing that, that's a good point, especially if there's technical hurdles. And yeah, I think you got a good point too. That V2 or the Giveth 2 is looking so clean right now that it almost even we pretty much have a lot of the same links and stuff covered that Giveth.io apparently has. But I think it's even an improved UX. It's a really nice homepage. So I'm cool with soft launching on Giveth.io.
So let's talk about when that is then. We were originally talking about that tomorrow. Based on what I heard in the dev call, we're talking about letting that go out another week for the soft launch. So what is our new soft launch planned?
Yes,
date?
James is overhauling authentication system, and it should be really good because yeah, we can talk about that.
Yeah, no,
James, if you
there's not
want.
much to say. You're right.
But
So
that's why we push it 1 week.
yeah, so we're aiming for like next Monday. I mean, we could say Sunday, even if I mean, you were saying that the Costa Rica team has got Sunday, Monday, Tuesday put aside for testing, right? So I think it would be reasonable to say that we should aim to be live, say Saturday, something like this. If anyone, please disagree with me if any developer thinks that's not reasonable. But for me, I think that that's probably fair to say. Let's do it.
So it's January 30th. Okay. And that now means moving from staging to directly to Giveth.io.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So user testing, we're doing it right now, but what I'm understanding is that anything that's going in right now is going to get wiped, right? We're not at a stage where we're entering things that would be migrated. And when I say migrated, I mean, at what point will the projects that we load and test with be ones that will be there for the soft launch?
I would say that we should aim to add like live projects on live. I mean, unless anybody has a good reason not to do it that way. I think like migrating data from staging to the live database is extra work, and it could be error prone. And I think I would prefer to have like an extra test layer of adding those again. But I mean, if there's really good reasons why we shouldn't do that, then we can of course make another plan. But that would probably be my preference. So I don't know what anyone else thinks about that.
I agree. I think maybe Danny, were you asking just like at what point will the projects that we create on staging not get deleted? Is that what you're asking?
On staging, we should do that like having not thought about it, like we should do that from now on, you know? Or we should at least aim to do that, right? Like let's start moving into a space where we do that. Because I think the more projects we have on staging anyway, the better for our testing, because there could be edge cases that only come up with certain datas, etc. So we should start accumulating those now. So it's just a matter of making sure our deploy process is all set up correctly, etc. for this.
Agreed. Did you guys work on that this past week? I remember Kai mentioning this last week about setting up like backups so that we make sure that in prod the projects never get just wiped away. Did we work on that at all this past week, or is that still something that we need to do?
Kai, yeah, Kai and Amin were working on that more. I don't know if Amin was working on it. I think definitely.
No, I didn't do anything on that specific front. You were very you sounded like you had an idea already on how to do it.
Oh, sorry, for the backup, is it?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, that's on my to-do list. Yeah, we have an issue for that, so we're going to automate backups.
Okay, cool. So Danny, we are going to make sure that we don't, when we're live, we don't lose any projects in prod. So now I think, yeah, as far as testing this week goes, and anyone is always welcome to go test on staging. And then I think, but right now we're still working on this big refactor. Once that refactor is live, James will update us, and that will be when it's more important for everyone to go test to make sure that we're basically we're ready to go live, or seeing if there's any bugs that came out as a result of the refactor that we want to fix before going live. So stay tuned. Feel free to test them for now and check it out. But it'll be later this week. It'll be more important for everyone to do kind of a full final test where hopefully we can give the green light to go live on Saturday.
Cool. All right, we're at the top of the hour, but I wanted to just note that with this pushing out our testing for another week, it gives us an opportunity, if we wanted to consider that Valentine's Day lands right around where our launch is, and that could be a really fun meme opportunity.
Love it. Yeah, it kind of lines up because we were planning on doing 2 weeks of soft launch, and if that goes well, doing the official launch. So that does line up almost too perfectly. Yeah.
I know, it kind of feels really awesome. I like it. I'd like to really make sure that I know I plan to give my full attention for this next 2 weeks to make sure we hit that launch date, because I love it. And I love you guys.
That's so cool. And you know what else I just realized? This is kind of crazy, but it's exactly 1 year after ETH Denver. It'll be literally 1 year, which is kind of when Giveth 2 was born. So that's pretty cool. Coming full circle.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
The planets align.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, so is there anybody who has to jump? I don't think we need to go into the marketing strategy, and we've already talked about DAF. But just so you know, Forrest, Magenta, and I are talking and developing the strategy tomorrow for our launch content and getting projects and all of that good stuff. And the thing I just want to leave with you guys is, let's think about who are our partners in the space that we can reach out to and ask, like, arrange in advance marketing and promotion support around the launch itself in February. So I've had a couple conversations with David Casey, who's really excited about this. He worked with Olexi to develop resourcenetwork.co. So there's a bunch of projects that are listed on Resource Network that we're going to get over into the pilot project list today, and see if there's a way that we can leverage our mutual networks for that launch for people who are interested. So that's my question to you guys to think about. I guess we could call it some homework for the week, is who do we want to talk to or align a marketing partnership with for our launch? And if you guys have any thoughts, anything you want me to write down, I know I would think obviously OneHive and Metagame should be people we're talking to and planning that for.
Common Stack, DAppNode.
What about the token engineering community?
Yep, token engineering. I mean, I'm sure that we effectively control, like, Bright ID would be a good one.
Cool. Trustline.
Speaking of Bright ID, Haslar and Danny Bell and I all started a seed group. So if any of you guys are interested in being a part of that seed group, I can add you to it. Basically, it would just give you the capability to verify people. At this point in the version that they're running now, that would be the usability. So just send me a message if you want to be in the group and I can add you.
Cool.
Is there a central place where we'll collect this list, or should we send ideas to you directly, Danny? Like maybe we could collect them in a, I don't know, in a document somewhere, or?
Do we have like a launch? What's the right channel to be talking launch? Giveth 2 is dev. Maybe we need a
launch.
I mean, we have a marketing channel, so how about that? Oh, I actually already posted a question in there in the marketing channel. Can you guys still see my screen?
Mm-hmm. And so these are people too that we just listing people that we want on like launch day to be ready to retweet us or post a tweet from there to their following, or
At a minimum.
At minimum.
At a minimum that, but I feel like we could probably come up with some other creative things leading up to it as well.
I feel like
newsletters, blog posts, things like that.
I feel like this is just a suggestion, because I know, Danny, I don't know if you've made friends with Notion yet, but you can create like something equivalent to like a spreadsheet in there, where we can have different types of partners, like whether it's like someone to tweet or whether it's a launch partner or whatever it is, right? But it could be a bunch of like contacts or actions. And that way we can then assign each of those to a person. And if you want, I'm prepared to lay out a template of what that could look like. I could do that pretty quickly, just to give an idea, even if you
So
don't want to use it, just to propose it.
I do want to use it because I need to be better friends with Notion. I just opened up the pilot projects spreadsheet. So there is this, I'm assuming this is what you're talking about. Like we can create one here called Strategic Partners. I mean, duplicate this.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
use this, but this is basically what you're talking about. Only we would
Yeah,
have one for our
exactly,
strategic
something
partners.
like that. Something like that, yeah. Because you see, you have the tags there. Like this is you can have different color labels. Like that could be like a launch partner, or it could be like tweeter,
Yeah.
or something. And then you can actually make a column then which links to people. So should I work on this a little bit, or do you want to create a new one?
No, let's create a new one. Yeah.
Okay, I'll do that right now, and we can do it together if you want.
Cool.
Okay.
All right. I know we're rolling on past the top of the hour. So let's go ahead and do our closing. And then if anybody wants to stick around and keep chatting. Okay. Griff's gone. Love you. Anybody? Sorry about that. My road is very motorcycle-y. Is there anything you didn't hear discussed here today that anybody wants to share while we're still here? No, let's have our Sunday afternoon back. Okay.
Yeah, Sunday fun day.
Yeah. All right. I don't know if any of you guys are thinking about coming to Costa Rica yet. Hit me up if you are. There's some really cool things happening here, and we'd love to see you here because it's good. Have an awesome day. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
All right.
See you guys.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Cheers. Bye.